What up, YouTube? It's your boy Vince Rashad, and I wanted to show y'all a few things. I'm not gonna make this video too long, but this is a needless to say, a anti-swirl video, and I guess Leslie Jones, she's at Less Dog. She's been cooning for quite a few years, but the cooning and the blackfacing that she's doing is really coming back to hurt her. And, the question that I have to ask in the midst of all this is, where are the swirlers at to help her out right now? Because, I could really make fun of this whole situation, man. They posting up gorilla pictures and, calling her all type of niggers and monkeys and all that. And these are all white men. I've been up and down this timeline. These are all white men. And they are just shitting on her, really. They just completely shitting on her. White dudes like that right there. I'm just showing you one of the dudes that's sitting up talking about it. And, she's now, she took there was a red carpet picture of her where she really was made up, and she looked a whole lot better. It's kind of like she just goes for that completely natural look. And supposedly somebody hacked her account and put in there, I hate gays, trying to mess her little movie thing up. And they just crapping all on her. And, the swirl propaganda that you always hear is that white men are so attracted to natural black women, and that, that they're going to do so much. But let's just keep it real, man. I mean, she got a whole Twitter where she's going off. She's cussing. Let me go back up here to the top. Basically, she said yesterday, "I'm leaving Twitter tonight with tears and a very sad heart. All this cause I did a movie. You can hate the movie, but the shit I got today, wrong." And they just been talking about her like a dog, really. I ain't gonna show too much here, but DL. And here's the thing that's so sad: black men never get any credit. There's a reason why black men don't be doing all this stuff that women always are telling us to oblige, that we are obliged to do. We don't get any payoff for it. We don't get nothing. Now there are no white men caping for Less Dog, Leslie Jones. This is a little 30-second video by DL Hughley, where, he's telling her keep her head up, even though she is out there cooning and blackfacing, especially in that Allstate commercial. And I mind you, Allstate does not have any black men on its board of directors. So when they made that commercial ugly facing this woman, they did it as just a straight up disrespect, and just clowned her. People putting stuff like that on her timeline, and this is her, just going back and forth with all type of races. And it's just sad because, reality so completely trumps and beat the living hell out of, just out of this propaganda that you hear on YouTube. These white men are not attracted to black women like her. This woman is having a fight like crazy because she's being mocked. She's being ridiculed. They're just calling her ugly, And these are, the white men who are supposed to be the saviors of black women. The absolute saviors. And we constantly get, the white men this and white men that, and the white man gonna do this. White man ain't gonna do nothing for you. White man gonna call you an ugly ass black nigger bitch. And the flat reality is that the vast majority of these women, and she's saying right there, somebody called her a nigger. But the vast majority of these women that talk about swirling, these folks ain't bit more got no white man as the man in the moon. They just sit up there talking that shit as a psychological psychological projection. It's what I talked about in my old video. I erased it, but it was the video I had, black women and natural black women and white men. It is complete garbage. It is plain and simple that what you have is a relatively small percentage. I mean, probably half the interracial marriages in this country are basically in both the state of California and New York. And many people would argue that that is really just downright because of sheer population. If you've got 20 million people in New York, if 2% of anybody does anything, you potentially have anywhere from a couple hundred to 400,000 people who constitute that 1%. It's probably not that high, but you know what I mean. But these white men are not caping for this woman. They're not coming for her defense. They're ridiculing her. And as I showed you in the D.L. Hughley, the D.L. Hughley tweet, he stood up for her and told her to hold, keep her head up, And, you see these tweets where she's like, to all these little random white dudes, why are you steering hate? And when them corporate white men from Allstate put that woman in that commercial, they knew very well what she's doing because they so utterly and completely hate black people so much. On one hand, they want to bleach black people down to a bunch of mulattoes, but they have to try to make black women believe that the white man is her savior and that he's going to do so much for her. But truthfully, they hate all black people. And they just can't suppress the hate long enough to let the interracial agenda go forward. And the way I look at it, in this particular case, hate is good. Because the entire Karazin, Sweet Tea or Sweet Pete, whatever her name is, these two other chicks y'all keep telling me to check them out, Simone 56 and some chick named Brooklyn Blue or something. Man, look, I haven't checked out none of those channels. I looked at the Brooklyn Blue channel and I just know what's going to be said by the title of those videos. It's bullshit. I'm not filling my head with that negative garbage. I done listened to 5 or 6 years of nigger bed bitchism. I don't want to hear no more black feminist cunts. I don't. But, it is what it is. So sadly, the black man came and stood up for her. And trust you me, none of the swirling sisterhood is going to mention that. While these white men are talking about this very natural black woman like a dog. Let me see if I can find her cuter picture, man, to try to at least, like I said, there it is. Now, I'm trying to find that is the whole body pic. Okay, you see right there. She looks a whole lot better in that picture right there. Let me go back. Check that one out. She look a lot better right there. She just got to work on herself. And look at this brother right here. You know what I'm saying? He's leaning to the side, and I thought black men didn't like natural black women. Look at that brother right there. I'm trying to point to him with my thumb. That nigga is leaning. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, damn. Let me get this picture. But they will convince you that black men hate natural black women because supposedly we hate ourselves and all this yada, yada, yada. And it's really a bunch of garbage, man. When she keeps herself up, she looks okay. But I gotta admit that Allstate commercial was a disaster, man. And it wasn't no black men who did that. It was white men. But anyways, that ends this little video. I ain't even want to make it this long, but I just had to speak up on it, man. It's your boy Vince Rashad. At Let's Dog. Where is the swirling sisterhood? Where they at? Nowhere to be found. I'm out.